If you trust the U.S. government or the central banks, the Fed, and Wall Street, then save money. But if you don't, then buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin. And the thing I like about Bitcoin is that I can run with it. It's just a number in my head. And my trouble with my gold and silver, I got so much of it, I have to lug it. It's hard to get it around. The trouble with the U.S. dollar, the more it drops in value, the more they print. August 15, 1971 came. What people don't realize was right after that we broke the agreement of the Bretton Woods Agreement in 1944. We promised the world the dollar would be backed by gold. Going back in times, in 1933, it was FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who everybody loves. The guy was a hardcore Marxist. He made owning gold illegal. So today you have my generation, the boomers, they're hanging on by a thread due to historical events coming in. So now the stock market is at an all-time high. It's nuts. And the reason it's all-time high is because our CEOs are borrowing money from the Treasury to repurchase their own stocks. So we don't have a real economy. We don't have a real stock market. And the U.S., the Fed is greatly in debt. The U.S. is greatly in debt. So your generation is far more aware. But my generation, my concern is the market is going to come down. Stock market, bond market, real estate market.
Well, that's what I was talking about, September 17th, 2019, that fire in the repo market. You know, they couldn't, and the Fed jumped in and the Treasury jumped in to save the repo market. That's socialism. That's communism. That's central controlled government. So now the economy is controlled by the Fed and the U.S. Treasury. Free market is gone. And what happened is separated the price of a stock from the fundamentals of a stock. And so, as you know, many of the CEOs were just borrowing money off their corporations, like, let's say, Ford, and making them they went from AAA to BBB junk bond status, same as AT&T and all these companies. So the CEOs were complicit in borrowing from their corporate treasury, repurchasing their stocks, which sent the price of the stock up, and then the CEOs parachuted out under capital gains taxes, not ordinary income taxes. Gold, silver, and Bitcoin are investments of disaster. You know, if everything was perfect, you don't need gold, silver, and Bitcoin.
Back in 1950s, when I was a real little kid, I was working with my rich dad, who was my best friend's father. He had executives in his company that played in the stock market. So this is the 50s and the 60s. And my rich dad said, anybody who's in the stock market's a gambler. And so I don't do business with gamblers. And I still remember that. So when I talk, a lot of my friends are not in the stock market. So this is the point. Back in the 50s and the 60s, prior to 71, when they took the dollar off the gold standard, you could save dollars because they weren't printing it. It was backed by gold. You see, 1944 to 71, you have to look at history. It was really smart to be a saver of dollars. It was also smart. My rich dad didn't really save money. He built projects. He built big projects. But he bought bonds. So the smart money back in the 50s and the 60s was in bonds and savings because they didn't print money. If you can get your head around that one, and so today we're printing 120 billion a month in the U.S. So here we are at the top of a bull market. But when the bear goes out the window, it comes down so fast. Like I think it was Ernest Hemingway who said, how did you go bankrupt? Slowly at first, then suddenly. Suddenly is coming. We're going to a depression. And my generation has never been through a depression. My family was. So we're heading into the next Great Depression. So unless it sounds pessimistic, but the bull goes up the stairs. Everybody's happy. Champagne's flowing. I can't get a reservation. But when that bear comes down, a depression is emotional. People are depressed. So I don't mean to be a pessimist, but I'm saying get prepared to how you're going to make money when people are depressed. I don't save dollars because I don't trust the U.S. dollar. And I just saved gold and silver and recently Bitcoin. And the reason is because of 1971, when Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, the dollar became fake. So now that COVID has hit and they printed more money in 2020 than they did in the first 200 years of our country. And still people are saving dollars. You should be buying some gold, some silver, and you can afford it, Bitcoin. Silver today is a bargain. I mean, today is around November 15th, I think, or whatever it is. And I can buy a silver eagle for about $30. And everybody in the world can afford $30. But the average person has been conditioned to think about paper, fake money, fake dollars. At the same time, they're printing as much money as they possibly can. They give it to their rich friends. They don't give it to us. And then they print it, and interest rates keep going down. So what's happening in America today, savers are losers. Most parents say to their kids, go to school and save money and work hard. But in 1970, when I graduated from school, $1 million at 15% interest earned me $150,000 a year. Now you could live on $150,000 a year back then. But in 2016, due to this thing called quantitative easing, I call it the Greenspan put. It's $1 million at negative 5 basis points. It's going to cost you $1 million to save $1 million. That is how deteriorated our financial systems have become. Right now, you should be saving gold, silver, or Bitcoin. And the thing is in the year 2000, I started buying gold at $250 an ounce. And today it's worth 10 times that much, approximately. So I'm very happy with my gold. And silver was like $2, $3 or something, and now it's worth 30. And the Bitcoin I bought, thank God I was buying it at 9,000. And today it's worth over $1 million. But the reason for that has nothing to do with gold, silver, or Bitcoin. It has to do with the incompetence of the Federal Reserve Bank, or the corruption of the Federal Reserve Bank, the U.S. Treasury, and Wall Street. So I'm not saying Bitcoin, people get into what I call pissing matches. Which is better, gold or Bitcoin? Who cares? The question is, how much do you have? That's all that counts right now. Because the reason you buy gold, silver, or Bitcoin is for the same reason.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.